A powerful individual will be brought down in broad daylight by a lightning strike. These unsettling statements were recorded nearly 5 centuries ago, recorded by the enigmatic French seer Nostradamus, a physician, an astrologer, and an author whose cryptic poetic lines have captivated historians for generations. When he released his famous collection, Les Prophéties, in the 1500s, he filled it with hundreds of unusual 4-line predictions, known as quatrains. These poetic compositions were intentionally crafted using symbolic language, blending historical elements, celestial observations, and metaphorical stories. For centuries, discussions have focused on whether these texts were merely artistic reflections of a tumultuous era, or if they genuinely offered insights into the future. There are moments in history when ancient expressions suddenly seem to have been written precisely for our present time. Old verses begin to resonate with today's headlines. During periods when global stability is uncertain, one name consistently regains widespread attention: Nostradamus. Hailing from southern France in 1503, Michel de Nostradamus initially trained as a medical doctor during one of the most somber chapters in European history. The devastating plague relentlessly swept through urban centers, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. He gained recognition for his innovative medical techniques. Nostradamus traveled across various communities, providing care to those afflicted, and gained fame for his herbal treatments. Despite his role as a physician, he developed a profound interest in astrological studies, classical literary works, and ancient traditions of foresight. Over time, he began transcribing what he referred to as visions and allegorical perceptions of events yet to occur, choosing concise poetic verses. Each forecast manifested as a quatrain, consisting of 4 lines of obscure prose, brimming with figures of speech and depictions of calamities. Across the centuries, individuals have routinely consulted his works. Some proponents declare that his verses accurately foreshadowed the ascendance of Napoleon and Hitler, but a series of his forecasts may outline a sequence of occurrences leading to a destructive confrontation. One of the most referenced is Century 5, Quatrain 26. In that specific verse, Nostradamus asserts that a prominent figure will be brought down by a sudden, powerful strike from the sky in broad daylight. Within the milieu of the 16th century, a thunderbolt commonly signified unforeseen destruction, perhaps cannon fire or an act of divine punishment. Nevertheless, in the contemporary world, the phrase readily summons visions of missile impacts or cutting-edge military hardware. Recently, certain observers have drawn parallels between this depiction and accounts involving high-level political figures within the Middle East. Reports disseminated through international news outlets allege that Israeli warplanes struck a compound in Tehran utilizing scores of precision bombs. Among the weapons mentioned are advanced Blue Sparrow air-launched ballistic missiles, designed for catastrophic exactitude. Among the most extensively discussed assertions is the purported demise of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, following coordinated attacks. Satellite visuals released subsequent to the strike purportedly displayed considerable structural impairment at the location. When examined through the prism of Nostradamus's prophecy, this imagery becomes challenging to dismiss. An influential figure felled in daylight. Nevertheless, the foretelling does not culminate with the initial strike. Nostradamus seemingly illustrates the repercussions following such a pivotal event. Among his writings, one particularly captivating segment describes a peculiar and disquieting occurrence: a substantial aggregation of bees suddenly ascending. For centuries, scholars grappled with the potential meaning of this image. Today, it has acquired a considerably more technologically oriented interpretation. These instruments, commonly referred to as drones, have profoundly altered modern combat, affording the capacity to engage targets remotely and with extraordinary exactitude. Nostradamus would have lacked the lexicon to articulate drones or autonomous weaponry. The most analogous imagery would have been derived from the natural environment. Launching its assault under the veil of night as part of a clandestine attack, a chilling progression begins to manifest. Retaliation ensues. Yet the aggression is not exclusively limited to aerial engagements. His quatrains propose that the repercussions will ultimately extend throughout the terrestrial landscape itself. A particular passage depicts a locale where blood flows so abundantly that the rivers transform. Some researchers believe this alludes to the Ticino region of Switzerland. The Ticino region maintains an exceptional geographical standing, functioning as one of the most critical transit arteries connecting northern and southern Europe. For centuries, armed forces, merchants, and influence have navigated these narrow pathways. Command over such corridors has historically proven indispensable. In contemporary geopolitics, alliances represent the mechanisms that draw previously neutral territories into conflicts that initially commenced elsewhere. Nostradamus wrote that, through a favor or act of deference, violence would erupt. This may depict a political maneuver that inadvertently ensnares a region. If such assistance is perceived by rival powers as a partisan stance, retaliatory actions can follow rapidly and without forewarning. The mental visualization of torrents of blood implies violence of an enormous magnitude, one that converts a previously serene territory into a combat zone. But the escalation does not terminate at this juncture. Nostradamus details naval armadas encircling one another as a deadly maritime conflict is unleashed. In the 16th century, galleys designated the warships prevalent in his time, vessels propelled by oars that dominated the Mediterranean. Dominion over maritime routes dictates the distribution of resources. Vital channels like the Mediterranean, Persian Gulf, and Red Sea assume central roles. Prominent naval powers command sophisticated fleets capable of projecting influence across immense expanses. Naval forces would swiftly become engaged. A direct naval engagement holds the potential to severely disrupt global commerce and unleash economic ramifications far beyond the theater of operations. Nostradamus's depiction of seafaring vessels encircling each other could thus signify a naval escalation, pushing conflict toward a perilous global engagement. Certain readings suggest this culminates in a destructive 7-month period of armed conflict, characterized by rising tensions and turmoil everywhere. While 7 months might appear brief in the grand sweep of history, conflicts frequently intensify to their most devastating stages during relatively short intervals, especially when acts of reprisal outpace the capacity of diplomatic efforts to control them. A 7-month conflict could entail persistent drone assaults and missile barrages. 7 months where governments grapple with worsening crises, all while citizens observe developments with increasing apprehension. The question of Nostradamus genuinely foresaw these events, or if audiences merely interpret his cryptic verses using contemporary frameworks, continues to be a point of contention. Nevertheless, it's undeniable that the depictions within these ancient quatrains bear an uncanny resemblance to the technological advancements prevalent today. When these various images are combined, they construct a storyline that reads less as separate prophecies and more as an escalating series of events. Should Nostradamus's outlined events be viewed as a cohesive story, the first catalyst is the lightning bolt striking a prominent leader. New aerial warfare technologies then emerge as a form of reprisal. Conflict disseminates throughout territories linked by pacts. Navies converge in disputed waters as opposing nations ready for engagement. Air, land, and sea, the conflict spirals. In contrast to conflicts of past centuries, contemporary warfare possesses the potential for rapid escalation, given technology enables countries to hit distant targets in minutes. Every attack provokes a retaliatory strike. Decisions made under extreme duress could fundamentally alter the worldwide distribution of influence. In our interdependent world, armed conflict almost instantly impacts financial structures and international supply routes. Energy prices might experience severe volatility. For everyday citizens, the psychological toll could be substantial. Reports of military engagements would disseminate instantaneously, fostering an environment where apprehension propagates. However, Nostradamus's texts frequently imply that phases of intense pressure ultimately culminate in significant change. The conflict signifies the climax, not its perpetual state. Conflicts arrive at a juncture where the ongoing expenses prove prohibitive for all participants. History shows we have teetered on the edge before. Throughout history, numerous instances illustrate times when the world teetered on the edge of devastating conflict, yet ultimately retreated from the precipice. For instance, during the Cold War, friction between the United States and the Soviet Union continually risked spiraling into atomic warfare. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 stands out as a prime illustration of a moment when world leaders encountered a standoff. For 13 days, the international community observed with apprehension as confidential discussions progressed. Ultimately, diplomatic efforts succeeded, and the crisis was averted without the catastrophic consequences that many had dreaded. It's possible Nostradamus grasped a core truth. The course of tomorrow is seldom predetermined. It is molded by choices made during times of ambiguity. His texts mirror enduring motifs that emerge whenever the world confronts significant historical junctures. Power dynamics in military tech recur repeatedly. When readers examine the imagery, the lightning from above, the hordes at night, they perceive symbols that powerfully echo the present-day world. Whether these verses genuinely foretell occurrences or merely reflect humanity's cyclical patterns, they prompt us to consider the decisions we face. Past events demonstrate that the most perilous conflicts frequently commence with an isolated incident that ignites a cascade of reciprocal actions. Yet history also reveals that diplomatic engagement, collaborative efforts, and self-control can keep crises from escalating into full-blown disasters. We're eager to learn your thoughts. Do you believe Nostradamus provided genuine insights? Or do you see his writings as mirroring perennial patterns? Your opinions in the comments are vital, as the conversations cultivated here are key to establishing this platform for collaborative exploration. If you enjoyed this exploration, please give it a like and share it, and ensure you subscribe to the Prophecy in Conversation so you don't miss our next mystery. Until we connect again, stay curious, keep asking questions, and continue investigating the links that make our world significantly more mysterious than it first appears. To truly understand the power of these prophecies, we must also examine the mechanics of doubt. Skeptics argue that Nostradamus' strength lay not in foresight, but in ambiguity. His linguistic style was a complex macaronic blend, mixing 16th century French with Latin, Greek, and Italian, making his verses a Rorschach test for the reader. Historians point out that vague descriptions of famine, blood, and fire are perennial human experiences, occurring in almost every decade since his death. Furthermore, the digital age has birthed a new phenomenon: internet prophecies, fake quatrains written after a tragedy and falsely attributed to him. Statisticians suggest that with nearly 1,000 quatrains published, the law of large numbers dictates that eventually some will appear to hit the mark. Yet even the sharpest skeptics pause at the prediction of King Henry II's death, a quatrain so specific about a splintered eye that it earned him royal favor. Was it a fluke? Or did he possess a method of looking through the fabric of time that we still do not understand? In the modern day, the search for meaning continues. When a leader falls or a drone swarm rises, we immediately return to the quatrains. Because if even one of these verses is truly a window into the future, then our understanding of time and causality is fundamentally broken. We look for patterns because we fear the unknown. Prophecy offers a map, however dark or confusing, in a world that often feels like it has no direction. If 7 months of fire are indeed written in the stars, the question remains, are we the weavers of this fate or merely the fabric? For those who believe, the warnings are a call to awareness. For those who doubt, they are a fascinating look at the human imagination under pressure. In either case, the clock of history continues to tick, oblivious to our interpretations. Nostradamus remains a bridge between the mysticism of the past and the anxieties of the future. What will the next quatrain reveal? Perhaps the answer lies not in the stars, but in the mirrors we hold up to them. If we imagine the absolute fulfillment of the 7 months prophecy, we enter a landscape where the boundary between prediction and nightmare dissolves. In the first month, the lightning strike triggers a collapse of communication. The digital web that binds the world begins to fray under unprecedented cyber assaults. By the 3rd month, the disruption of trade routes, the encircled seas, leads to the realization of his quatrains regarding great hunger and scarcity. The peak of the 5th month, the great fire from the skin. Modern technology fulfills the ancient vision with terrifying precision. Leadership is decapitated. The prominent figure mentioned in Century 5 is no longer there to guide the response. Chaos becomes the only commander. Populations are displaced. The rivers of blood in Ticino and elsewhere are no longer metaphors, but the lived reality of millions. Nostradamus speaks of evil through a favor. In this peak, we see how alliances intended for protection become the very ropes that strangle global peace. By the 7th month, the world reaches the breaking point. The great naval circle tightens, and the choice between total annihilation and survival is finally forced. But then, as abruptly as it began, the quatrains suggest a shift, a transition from the fire of conflict to the ice of a new sobered reality. History is not just a record of destruction, but of reconstruction. The 7 months serve as a catalyst for a global realization. In the wake of such a crisis, the favors and alliances of the past are replaced by a singular, desperate need for a lasting, unified peace. Nature, as Nostradamus often observed, has a way of reclaiming what man tries to destroy. The bees return to the flowers, not the sky. We store these warnings not to spread fear, but to sharpen our vigilance. Prophecy is a mirror, and today that mirror reflects a choice. The 7 months do not have to be our future. They are a possibility that reminds us of the value of every single day of peace. For in the end, the greatest prophecy is the one we write for ourselves, through the wisdom of our ancestors and the courage of our actions. We have journeyed through the quatrains of a man who lived 5 centuries ago, yet whose words continue to echo in the halls of modern power. The patterns we've explored, the lightning from above, the naval circles, the 7 months of fire, remind us that human history is a cycle of crisis and renewal. Nostradamus did not write to condemn us, but perhaps to offer a mirror, a way for us to see the consequences of our path before we reach the end of it. In our modern era, where technology moves faster than our wisdom, these ancient warnings serve as a vital reminder of the fragility of peace. Whether you see a prophet or a poet, the bridge he built between the 16th century and our own time is a testament to the enduring human spirit. The next quatrain has not yet been written. It is being composed every day through the choices we make, the alliances we forge, and the empathy we share. Thank you for joining us on this 15-minute journey through time and prophecy. This has been a deep dive into the mysteries that define our world. If this exploration challenged your perspective, consider sharing it with someone who seeks to understand the deeper currents of history. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay awakened to the mysteries that lie ahead. Our next investigation is already beginning. The future is a landscape of many paths. Together, we can choose the one that leads to the light. Production by the Prophecy in Conversation. Research led by the Historical Archive Collective. All visuals crafted to inspire wonder. Support our work on Patreon to gain access to exclusive research and behind-the-scenes content. Follow us on social media for daily insights. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, the truth is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with the eyes to see it. Good night, and until next time, what will you see in the mirror of the future?